Greetings, peace, and blessings to you. This is Jovhannah, the spiritual love healer, and I am waiting for my dear friend, Goddess Afua, to join me. We're just going to be having some random conversation today because we have so many great things to celebrate. So let me see, where is she? Hello, thank you so much for joining. I'm just waiting. Peace, Goddess Allison. So I am going to be chatting with my dear friend Afua, who just released a new song, a new single, Yeah, I'm a Goddess, to commemorate the releasing of the African Goddess Initiation book by Abiola Abrams. So we're just going to be chatting it up today and having lots of fun. So yeah, I hope that you are all having a beautiful Saturday. I had to get myself together. I was like, I need water, I need cards. Just making sure I had it all together, just in case, because you never know what's going to go down when we are live. So I'm trying to see. Okay, no. Yes. Okay. I think I just sent you a request to join. There you are.
Fix my crown.
Hello. Look at you.
Hey. Yeah. Well, aren't you looking gorgeous, goddess?
So are you. I love your goddess regalia.
Oh, why, thank you. I didn't know that, like, I haven't heard regalia. First of all, I tend to say regalia, so it's like a tomato, regalia,
Right.
regalia. But I'm loving the use of this word. I know, like, I just don't hear it enough, and I've been hearing it now with Abiola. This is the African Goddess Initiation Summer Fest extravaganza, and we're just chilling. But yeah, thank you for just saying let's do this. So I just wanted to I heard you tooting my horn as I was getting on, or like I was typing, so I'm here. But I also want to toot your horn. I was kind of hoping that, and I saw Goddess Allison. Shout out to Goddess Allison. I see Black Goddess 73. Hello, beautiful. I didn't know if Goddess Allison is still here, if she would want to join us at some time, because I feel like we're all part of this goddess. That's up to her. She can let us know if she wants to join. But there's 4 of us that can be on here. And I feel like we all have been part of this Abiola Abrams journey for what? Is it almost 5 years?
4 or 5, yeah.
4. Oh, let's see, because
I was like 20. Was it 2016 or 2017?
I got started like the fall of 2016 of when I started to dive into, and yeah, I'm a Goddess, the song that you mentioned, which is the born day is officially this Tuesday, July 20th. So even though I did perform it, so I did get the opportunity to perform it for the kickoff of the African Goddess Initiation Festival. It's not officially available on Apple, iTunes, Spotify, all of that good stuff, Tidal, all of that, until Tuesday, the 20th of July, which is also the book day, the book born day. So it's in the book, as are you. So many things. Yeah. I was thinking maybe we could just go back and forth a little bit, with each other about kind of interview each other a little bit. I don't know. I have questions for you, and maybe you have questions for me.
Okay. Let's Oh, okay, Allison. Next time for sure. We'll plan something.
Okay. Yeah. I didn't mean to I just thought whatever, if she was there and it felt like it. Because we might as well use these free tools. It's now you can put more people on, so it's
maximize the potential.
Yeah. So just thought of it, but we're sending you love. Yeah. Well, okay. Since you brought up the.
Oh, it froze just a little bit. Hello, Demond. Oh, Colleen, I didn't see you pop in. Hey. Hello, my beautiful friends. We absolutely have had a wonderful journey, and I am very excited about what's next, because this is just the beginning. It's just the beginning. Afua, Afua's out. She'll be back in. But yeah, so one of the reasons why we were excited to share, as she mentioned, is that I am featured in an upcoming Hay House book, which is all about African goddesses, which is powerful and important. It is created by the beautiful Abiola Abrams, and Afua produced and wrote and orchestrated this beautiful song that's all about being a goddess and what that means and feeling empowered and beautiful. Thank you. And so just to have seen the journey and to be a part of the journey and to also be able to really embrace what that means as a melanated being, as a Black woman. There you are, beautiful goddess.
Hey, yes, I heard you. I don't know if there's a delay. I just now did what you had advised me to do before. I clapped my hands and I asked any entities that are not up in her for my highest good and the highest good of all to leave, to exit stage left, stage right, to get the fuck on. And I called in what I call my spiritual soul system. I was calling it like my spiritual soulmates, or like soul system, because it reminds me of solar system, but it's like my soul system. So archangels, guardian angels, spirit guides, pop angels, which is like Whitney Houston, Michael Jackson and Prince, and many more. Love your nails, by the way, goddess.
Thank you.
Yeah, so I just called on them because I'm like, we gonna have this connection today. So,
yes. Well, I'm glad that you are back. Greetings, Enchantress Shane.
Yes.
And sending so much love to the Mother Goddess Abiola, who has just been a very beautiful, sacred support and teacher on my journey, and I'm sure yours as well as many others. Where were we? I was talking about something, but I love like how you said like sound, like clapping.
Well, that was you who had really told me that. You had told me years ago about water. That water can also just, that can clear energy. It can be actually. Maybe would you be open to speak more about that? And yes, hi, Enchantress Shane. Love you.
Water, which is funny. I'm very connected to water, and I don't have a lot of it in my natal chart. But one of the things that I recently learned, because water flows, it can conduct electricity because that's how people get electrocuted and stuff. But it's also very cleansing and powerful. So like I have my cup of water here, right? You gotta stay hydrated.
Cheers.
But speaking your intentions into the water and like setting it out, letting it charge in the sun. I remember my mother used to make sun tea where you, instead of boiling the water, you just like set it out in the sun, and it was so much better and different just because like we're charging it with the energy of the sun. And even like just taking a shower and setting the intention that this is cleansing me energetically, spiritually, not only is it cleansing my body, then like that is very powerful. Water is a very powerful element and energy. Like I know if I'm like feeling scattered and confused, I'm like, let me go wash my hair. It doesn't matter if I washed it yesterday. I'm like, I need to like wash it to cleanse it, and it resets things. And something that started happening, I will say probably within the last 4 years, is like being able to hear things in water. I remember I was taking a spiritual bath and I set my intention, and like water was dropping into the tub, and like I was hearing words, and it was like a conversation.
Wow.
And so for me, that's when I realized like water is something very powerful. Like I have to go be by water, which is why often I'll try to go walk to the river, because if not, I feel so disconnected. And
True. And I feel very similar about the ocean or any body of water. As close as I can get to water, I also feel that. And it's funny, we're both air signs, you and I. And so interesting that, I guess, like for us, water in a way is grounding. The way, I mean, and where there's water, there's earth. So
always.
Yeah.
And I think too, because our air is like intellect and thought. And so like processing, for me, because also I'm very emotional, but it helps me to like kind of like marry the two in a way where it's not like I'm always like in my head thinking. It's like, let me just experience, let me be in my heart. And that for me is where like the sweet spot is.
Yeah. I love that. You said, so you're saying water lets you be in your heart.
Mm-hmm. It does.
Well, I was wondering, so is there a particular ritual you would recommend with water to connect to your heart? Oh, just came from we saw
I
you
know,
dancing, Enchantress. I
yes.
saw your little Mama Ocean, Mame Wasa post. I
Yes,
didn't know if it was
beautiful.
from last summer or this summer, but yes, Ashe. Yeah.
I would say for me, like sometimes I'll just go to the river and like wash my feet in the water. It can be very simple. It can be
Mm-hmm.
very simple.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I will like speak my intentions into the water. If there's something like I'm stressed with, I'll speak it and allow like the river or the waves to wash it away. Last time I was at the beach, I wrote my intentions in the sand and just allowed the waves to like take it out and go. Like I love simple too. Oftentimes like, okay, I got to get 50 candles. I got to, have all of these herbs and oils. Sometimes all you need is yourself because we are the magic. We are the light. All we need is our intention. And the tools are fun to have.
Yeah.
But when we can come to it like it's just me and some dirt and some water, like
Right.
that to me is like getting back to the basics, back to like the roots and the bare essentials. And for me, the simplest spells or magic that I have done have been the most powerful. Like times when I might have just lit a candle and like, fuck it, I need this. And this is gonna happen, and I'm just like letting it all out and letting it flow. That's when it's like the next day something happens instead of let me plan out this elaborate ritual and be in this, space of, whatever. And it's just like, no, sometimes you go with your anger, with your fear, with whatever you're feeling, and you allow that energy to be what powers your intention.
Woo! Black Goddess 73 said, say it again. Can you say that again? Say that. I would love everyone to put in, we are the magic. That's what
we are the magic, and magic is normal. Magic is normal.
Yes! That's you and Enchantress Shane both. I remember that was something that we like. I don't know how it came up, but that's something we were saying like, I don't know, 2018, 2019. We gonna bring it back, gonna dust it off.
Yeah.
Magic is
That's
normal.
something, I continually remind myself of that. And one of my teachers, Michaela Renee, she asked this question. She gave like a speech like, how is your life? Are you living the life that you want to live? And then she asked the question like, what kind of witch are you? And that to me was like, okay, like, do you know your magic? Are you owning your power? Are you using your wisdom to create the life that you want to live? For me, that was very empowering because we have access to so many tools and resources to help us heal, to help us create the things that we would like in our life, to help us, do whatever we need to do. And oftentimes we can get in that wounded place where we feel defeated and like, oh, I can't do shit because the world and the man and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, no, boo, like it doesn't matter what's happening. Like, what kind of witch are you? What kind of woman are you? What kind of goddess are you? How are you going to show up in your own life to make things happen?
I just want to touch on so many wonderful comments. Like, well, thank you, Enchantress Jane. She said, I loved hearing that song. I don't know if you're speaking about, I'm a goddess. So whatever song, our soul song, it's all beautiful and that you love simple and playful. And then, let's see, Goddess Allison says, yes, because at the end of the day, our journey is just for us anyway. No fluff, no frills. Yes.
I think a lot of the fluff and frills came from the popularity of spiritual practices.
Can you speak more on that, please?
Sometimes we want things to like
I could. What kind of witch you want me to be when I speak about it?
Right, right. So I'll say this, like sometimes we can get so busy in trying to have a picture perfect
Right.
picture
Right.
instead of actually experiencing the magic, instead of actually understanding what we're doing and why. It's just like, okay, I'm gonna, just do things because it's aesthetic or it's pretty or it's pleasing, and forgetting. And that's why sometimes like I go away from my tools. I'll put my tarot cards down and
Yeah.
I'll collect rocks from outside and work with sticks, like just regular stuff, because
Wow.
for me it like resets me too. It
Hmm.
reminds me like I don't need to go and buy a super massive anything to make
Right.
something happen.
I love that. I love that because like even on on this kind of technological slash technical side of things, I can't find the tripod for my phone. I know I brought it. By the way, I'm in the motherland right now. I'm in the capital of Ghana, Accra, Ghana, West Africa right now. And I did pack from the US. I did pack my tripod. First of all, the tripod was not super strong anymore anyway, but I can still make it work though. But I can't find it. So like I've been holding the phone when I do things, and this space in my home here in Ghana, this is the space where usually the connection is strong. Like, and so I'm gonna knock on wood, go and drink some water. But I feel like now I'm learning basically being back home, which is where my parents are from. So it's my literal motherland, and it's yours too. And I'm saying you watching now or in the replay, and of course, this beautiful goddess above me up here. Goddess, the spiritual love healer, Jovhannah. Yeah. But I'll just say that I've been learning so much deeply and spiritually that it's like, kind of like use what you have, and do, and I was speaking to what you just said, like, and I'm not remembering the exact way you said it, but just that, you don't need, as Goddess Allison said, you don't need the frills and the fluff. So I'm like, yeah, I can still communicate with you, even though maybe I don't have the ring light. I don't have a ring light and things like that and blah, blah, blah. However, for me not to show up would be, it would just be unacceptable, and not, it would be out of alignment for me not to show up exactly as I am.
I love that you said that. There's so many different things that set us off, or our ego is like, oh, well, it's not picture perfect. Right. Oh, well, I don't have this and I don't have that. And it's just different ways that we can sabotage ourselves for not showing up. And I will be honest, like sometimes, like I haven't been showing up as much as I know that I should. And I'm like, okay, like why? Like all you need is your mouth and what you know and what's in your heart, and that's it. And if someone else is expecting different, they got the wrong place.
Yep, that's true.
So, yeah.
Goddess Allison said, don't get me started.
Right, yeah. So me and Goddess Allison have had these conversations many a time.
Oh my goodness. I love when, by the way, a shout out to Goddess Allison for the way that she shows us that magic is normal just by taking her, for years, she's been just doing her, maybe morning walks and then just inviting us on the live, or just showing up. She'll just pick up the phone. She ain't always got a tripod and a ring light. She's just out letting herself glow.
Like a Leo.
Like the Leo she is. The birthday twin of Enchantress Shane. By the way, both of these lioness goddesses up in her. And yeah, Black Goddess 73 says, don't need the spectacular to be magical.
And it's almost Leo season, so happy early birthday, Goddess Allison and Enchantress Shane.
That's right.
They are ready, like, come on. Like,
that's
it. Do it.
That's right. That is right. Gosh, you know what? I would love to speak about something that just happened last night in relation to holding the phone and not having my tripod. And frankly, even if I had my tripod, I don't necessarily have a tall desk here, or I don't necessarily, where the reception is good here, I don't quite have a place to put it. It would take a little bit of creativity, which was, I've said, is a new mantra for me. Like when I think I'm create more. you know, and not like obsessively, but just like surrender to the creation and get out of my own boxes and things like that. But last night I made my return after over a year. I think it's like 13 months or so that I had not been on Socially Distant Fest. And that's on Facebook, and for those watching now or in the replay. And it's a really beautiful space that was created right as the pandemic really hit the whole world. So last year, 2020 in March, I think is when they started. And now it's like, I don't know if it's like 77,000 people that are on there, and that can, it is mostly music focused. However, there are a lot of visual artists that get on there. There are magicians and other like light workers that get on there, and you can just go live in there and just, you know, do what you do, share your magic and, or, you know, your art, your creativity, your music, your song. And you can put in a virtual tip jar where you can say, hey, you know, if you're feeling inspired, you don't even have to explain it. People know that you just put your virtual tip jar, put your links and whatever. So I went live last night, and I'm holding the phone as I did at Abiola Abrams' kickoff of her book coming out this Tuesday, African Goddess Initiation, which sparked this conversation about goddesses, and we'll get more into it. I just wanted to say, like, I felt very awkward, and like I felt very like, I don't know, like I did bring up the like, oh, I don't have the setup for this. It's not like my, you know, blah, blah, blah. I don't know. And then also because I hadn't been live on there in so long, I didn't really, I had a few people come through, but it was pretty much like crickets, like, like, you know, so then it kind of dips into, yeah, I'm just seeing Goddess Allison's comment, letting my soul glow, let your soul glow. Yeah. So that's what I was doing last night by myself mostly. But what I realized, you know what I did? I made a mental shift in my mind where I was like, well, I've been doing Facebook Lives and a few IG Lives, but mostly Facebook Lives. I've been going live and talking to myself essentially, whether it's one person, 0, 1, 5, 10, regardless of who's in the room. I've talked, I've spoken, I've sang, I've, you know, shared really deep things. And so once I realized, like, I was like, I already do this. Then it kind of shifted for me where then I could get back into my power more. And because for me, if I feel nerves singing into a phone, staring at myself, it affects my voice. Like it actually affects the way, and I'll start doing things that I know I don't need to do. Like, just a tip for folks who sing, which I believe all of us have the gift inside of us. If you're singing and then for me, if I start to reach for a high note and start to lift up, you actually don't need to do that or go down for a low note. You can stay just centered, like, oh, no. I mean, maybe for performative value, but you don't need it to hit the note, you know, like, because it's coming from down her. It's coming from her. So I just was watching myself while I'm performing. It was interesting, and it felt very naked and vulnerable and awkward. And then at the end, I shifted again, and I was like, you know what? I'm proud of myself for showing up there. I'm just proud of it. There are a lot of people who have a beautiful voice or a powerful voice or just something, a song on their heart, and they won't get on there. Like I have some friends that I encourage, like, oh, you know, get on there, you know, especially in the midst of quarantine and all that. Get on there, da da da. And yeah, and for whatever. So I don't know. I'm proud of myself for showing up like that last night. And even I kind of didn't want to share it. I was like, I should have deleted it. And I was like, nope. Like, I'm gonna be there just like that. So
that is such a courageous and powerful thing, to show up with fear, to show up feeling awkward, to show up feeling less than perfect. Like it is. It's a courageous act. But the thing is, and this is something that I reminded myself yesterday, like everybody that shows up that we think, oh, they got their shit together, like they're so confident, they probably get bubble guts and nervous and like, oh my God, before they do their thing too. And it's just, next time you go on, you'll be better and you'll feel more confident, and then you'll get back to where you are owning it like you were doing before. So it's just that process, getting back up there. Yeah.
Sure, right. Because I was also giving myself, like, you know, what do you say? Like when you just show compassion for yourself, self-compassion of like, yeah, it's been 13 months. Like I think I stopped last year, June, I think. And I'll be honest, this is a whole other part of the conversation of how we can rise and know we're a goddess every damn day. Just like first of all, so my birthday is the end of May, May 30th. And what happened right in those days last year, George Floyd was murdered, and it was right. I even had to make a decision of if I was going to celebrate my birthday, and I decided to celebrate because I believe we need all of it. We need to be able to fight and to protest, and we also need to be able to feel joy and to love. It's all, and everything in between. So,
Right.
but I shut down, and I know you and I have talked about this shutting down that a lot of Black folks and people of color in general, but particularly Black folks, really have done, shutting down parts of ourselves, or just a lot of ourselves, just to function, or just to, because there was no official healing circle for that. It was just like, well, this happened, and it just was a lot. It was a lot, and it's hard to, I don't even say it's hard to, it is something that is not always so easy to articulate to people that don't, that aren't in my shoes or in the shoes of other people that look like you and I.
I feel as though there's literally trauma after trauma after trauma after trauma after trauma after trauma layered onto the Black community. And I feel like many people, whether they know it or not, have like dissociated them. To operate in this world, you cannot be fully present, because you are going to be in rage, you are going to be in deep pain. And so we have learned to cope and to mask and to put things in places, which I think is where that ancestral trauma goes into our DNA, because we're absorbing this shit at a very high level. And yes, there has been progress. Yes, things have changed, but also they haven't.
They haven't.
And it is very important that we have spaces to heal the shit that we are going through, so that we can elevate and do better. I see so many conversations that have been saying the same thing for decades. We need to build our own communities. We need to do, well, let's do it.
Let's do it.
Let's do
and
it.
Let's continue doing it.
The only way to exist is to operate outside of the thing that is causing you harm. And that's like a whole deep other conversation. But there's a lot of trauma, and I have seen it through like personal relationships, personal experiences. It's very real. And I'm grateful that it's now being talked about and explored, and that we are now becoming more open to things like therapy, that there are more therapists of color. Because I want to say 10, 15 years ago, going to therapy as a Black person was not acceptable. And I remember, like, I went to therapy and it was not okay. And I got a whole lot of shit for it. But had I not, I might not be here to talk to you today.
I just want to take a breath on that. That's really...
That was a lot.
Thank you for the hearts I saw. Like, I've been saying thank you, Black Goddess 73, for staying with us and affirming that. It's not... it's like... the reason we don't always talk about this stuff is because part of those layers of trauma is like, oh, come on, like, kind of like, get over it. Like, even if someone doesn't say the words get over it, like, that vibe is very strong, particularly in the United States.
It's almost gotten to that point where it's like, there's nothing that can be done, so we just adjust, right? Just kind of like...
Or at least that's what and there are things we can do, and like you're saying, creating community. But I know what you're saying, like, there's only so much we can control. We can't control the government. We can't control other people's minds, I mean, we can make change. We can influence change for the government, but we can't, we can't control what other people do, right? What we can control, what we do, how we think, how we show up. And who knows, like, who is the author of this great quote that says, like, or there's something I've heard about, like, who needed to hear your voice shake today, when you showed up anyway. Like, I'm paraphrasing, but it's like, who needed to hear that? So last night, I think maybe I didn't sing certain notes very well, or, blah, blah, blah. Like, I wasn't at my best, la, la, la. who need to see me show up that way so that they could be like, huh, okay, I can do that, or whatever. She's just holding her phone and saying it, like, whatever. You know, you just never know who needed that. You know, and that is something that we tend to forget as well. But I want to, gosh, I want to stay on what you said, okay, about therapy. But first,
there are many safe spaces for Black women, more and more coming
yes.
out. Black men need them desperately, and I think there
Yes.
also needs to be more safe spaces for Black children as well.
Yes, yes, yes. I would love to just touch on the therapy piece to say that I have started seeing a new therapist, and she is of color, and she's from Brazil. So, like, mixed heritage, including West African heritage, as we all mostly have, and many, many of us. And she's amazing. And I will say that big shout out to my dear friend Blossom, who is African American, and Blossom had been looking for a therapist that was the right fit for, I think, like 2 years or something. I think pre-pandemic she'd been looking around and just trying, also, you know, at the right budget and the right insurance and all these different barriers and da da da. And so she found this woman, and I really commend her, because I wasn't expecting my friend Blossom to then say, you should go see her. Because I think, I don't know if you and I spoke about this, but just like, I kind of grew up in California, in the San Francisco Bay Area. And, you know, there are things I love about the Bay. And I don't know if this is a California thing or just like a U.S. thing, or what, or a people thing. I don't know. But I had gotten used to people not really wanting to share the wealth, I guess. And that also is in my own home. Or to share the benefits, the resources, or like, I figured she would think it's awkward that we see the same therapist or something. But she really urged me. She's like, no, she's like, I know you because I've known this friend for 20 years. This year's 20 years. And she's like, no, she's like, the conversations that my friend was saying, the conversations you and I have, like, we basically have these similar conversations. Like, I know you would get her, like she would get you, you guys would get each other. So I finally took her up on the offer, and now, yeah, it's just been 3 sessions and it's already been like huge. Like, even just me being able to feel safe to cry in therapy is a big deal. I've been with other therapists who are lovely people, but I didn't feel safe enough. And it might also just be that I feel ready to do that, to be safe enough in myself. But she's also like a tears whisperer. Like, like she just holds beautiful space. And yeah, I just want to speak to that. And I would, you do have to be, basically you have to be a resident of California. And just because my mother is in California, that was part of how they were able to accept me, because I'm in Ghana right now. So, or else I'd be like, everybody go to her. Like, she's awesome. So, but yeah, I just wanted to speak to that, and I want to normalize that magic up there.
I also think something that you mentioned that was very important is how Blossom took time to look for the right therapist. Yeah. Going to the wrong therapist is so damaging, and I've had that happen where the first therapist I went to, she was not a Black woman, and I could not talk to her the same way that I'm just talking to you. So if I said, I don't know, use something like, she was like, well, how would your friends describe you? And I was like, something. I think I said like crazy. Like, you know, we use the term crazy, like, girl, you're funny. Like, that was so funny. Yeah. Ooh, so I'm like, so crazy. No. And then I found like, I don't want to have to, if I have to explain my words to you, like, not literally as though I am insane, but crazy as in you're wildly funny, like, we're not a good match, because I can already see that you don't understand me as a human. So then I was like, yeah, this is not going to work. And then I had a therapist who was like too protective and was very, like, she violated her ethics, basically. I'll just say that. And that was very traumatic for me. And it was like, I did not feel safe going back to therapy, but eventually I did. I found a therapist that I really loved and enjoyed, and I just kind of explained to her, like, listen, this is where I'm at, this is where, and it took me months to finally open up to her. And she was like, there you are. She
But
was
she
like,
gave you that
now she
time.
did.
She didn't push you or rush you.
Yeah, and then because she was like, I knew that we were gonna get there someday, because everything else you were talking about was like not, this is where we needed to be. She was like, so thank you for like letting, opening up and like getting to that place. So
yeah, oh, that's beautiful too. That is so beautiful. And I do want to, I remember something that you and I did discuss, I don't know, within the last week or two, like about therapy, about how this is big, because I think this affects a lot of us, consciously, subconsciously, whatever, that if you've been abused and if your abuser is now out in the world and is like purporting themselves to be a healer of any kind or a therapist, and there's a situation that we've heard of that this is the case, then it's no wonder that that person who was abused may not want to go to therapy. And many of us, essentially all of us have experienced abuse or trauma in some way, and so whether it's a school teacher, whether it's an elder of some kind, or or parents or whatever. And so it's very interesting. How do we heal from that? How do we feel safe to go? Because there's the stigmas of like, oh, you're not sick, you don't need that, you don't, why do you need therapy? But there's this layer of like mistrust also of just other people, I guess, helping us. I don't know.
I think it's important to recognize. I think like the first step to fixing anything is recognizing that there's an issue. Like saying like, okay, I want to do this, but I don't feel safe because my abuser is like in that same field. So I don't feel safe with that. So then it's like, okay, like how can I process that? Well, maybe you start to realize, okay, well, that's not the person that hurt me. And then maybe they do know what they're doing. So maybe I can find someone who is authentic and who can truly help me and hold space. But I think it's just going through that process. But if you don't have anyone to like go through that process with, or share that I want help, but I'm afraid to get it because this is too close to home, it makes things hard. But one thing that might help is going to like group, like they have like different blank anonymous, like they've got emotions anonymous, like AA, and like those groups where it's just people together instead of necessarily like you one-on-one. That's a way that can open up the healing, because if you get in a group with other people who have experienced something similar to you, then you start to feel safe and you start to feel like you're not alone. And then they might be like, oh yeah, I'm working with this person who's really helpful. And I think that's a good way to go about it, is doing like group support, group therapy.
That's very true. And being seen, like being able to be seen. Is that Miss Savvy?
Yeah, she just woke up from a little nap. Do you want to say hi to Miss Afua? Yeah, she's still like out of it.
Okay. She's like, okay, hi, Miss Savvy. Goddess Savvy. Princess Goddess. How early should we start calling goddesses goddesses?
From day one.
And in the womb. Ground zero. In the
fresh out. Yes.
Yeah. Right. Be singing goddess songs. Yeah, okay. Speaking of, I want to know, inquiring goddess minds want to know, what is in your passage, your juicy, beautiful, bountiful passage in Abiola Abrams' upcoming book? You can pre-order it now, African Goddess Initiation. What is your, please share your contribution.
Okay, so I have not read the book yet. So I don't fully know word for word what it says. But what we did talk about was shame. I have, and that was correlated with Goddess Long Bubby Susie, a Central American goddess, which I really love because my mother is from Central America, from Costa Rica. So having that connection was very special to me.
Yes.
And at first, when she was like, this is the goddess of shame, I was like, oh. Wow. But then I opened up like, wow, like how beautiful is it that there is a goddess for shame. Right. Because it's something that we all experience. And as a single mother, as a Black woman, as a human being on this earth, I have experienced a lot of shame and judgment and guilt. So I felt that was very beautiful because you have to navigate that darkness and deal with the emotions and the repercussions and all of that shame, because we know like it can cause you to shut down, it can cause you to hide, it can cause you to live in fear, it can damage your esteem and your confidence. And for a while I can say that, yeah, like it did. And I got to a point where I was just like, no, like I'm not going to allow someone else's raggedy opinion to like try to dim my light or make me feel any less than. So I was able to process everything that I went through and to realize that I don't have to feel that way. And so I love that I was living in darkness for so long, dealing with depression and anxiety, domestic violence, just all of this yucky, dark stuff, and was able to come out of it, navigate through all of that, and still be here, still be happy, still be a loving, beautiful soul, and not living in fear or in pain or out of my wounding. So I think that was very special. And I loved it because I know that there's so many other Black women, Black girls who feel ashamed of something for something. And to know that there's a goddess that they can go to help process that, to know that, you know, hey, somebody else was doing bad, but look at them now. Like that means a lot. And I think the fact that we have a book of African goddesses, a reference guide with rituals, is, I don't think people understand like what's happening with this body of work that Abiola has done. So she has her African goddess affirmation cards, and then she has her African goddess fertility cards, and then she has like her self-love cards. And she's always been pushing this beautiful magic and medicine about being in a sacred bombshell, being a beautiful Black goddess, and what that means. And I'm grateful that I can give this book to my girls and be like, look, like, yes, there's, you know, we know about Aphrodite, Venus, we know about all like the Greek and Roman goddesses, but these goddesses are ones that come from our lands. And that is powerful because representation matters. And,
yes, it does. Say that again.
Representation matters. Like I recently began exploring like goddess spirituality, but I kind of had a hard time connecting with it because there weren't very many goddesses that looked like me embodied across what I was seeing. So now it's like, here's a whole book that or goddess spirituality on in a way that is authentic to who I am. And that's beautiful because we need more work like this. Representation absolutely matters. Knowing our true history, knowing our heritage, and being able to reclaim our ancestral practices are so important, because when you're able to know who you are and practice what you are, it strengthens you. You're not going to someone else's beliefs or practices that might even feel foreign to you internally, but you do them because this is what you was taught to do.
Right.
And it's like this whole door opens up to truly reconnecting to who you are and knowing like, wow, like, yes, I am a Black woman, and there are practices, spiritual practices that are in alignment with my beliefs that feel good to me, where Abiola said something like, you know, we use feng shui and yoga and meditation. We pull practices from other cultures. But anytime people start talking about, you know, ancestor veneration and divination and things that are considered like African traditional religions and of Black hoodoo, voodoo, and those practices are evil. When many of the major religions have pulled, you know, pieces of practices out of these ancestral practices. So I think that is a huge step forward to recognizing, like, no, it's not evil. People just don't want you to access your power because it's different. So,
whoa, and I want to welcome folks that are joining, including my sister cousin, Barbara Ankoma, who's daughter of Paulina Ankoma, and
hello, family.
and granddaughter of, we share the same grandmother, so I just want to just put some respect on her name and into the space.
Welcome.
Yes, and I see Ifa Bawelikin. I hope I'm saying that. Ifa Bawelikin. Thank you for joining as well, Seth. Okay. Yes. Yes. This is so profound and so important. And I want to even speak to today. I've been showing up for I think this is day 6 of Abiola's live, or well, just from the kickoff. The kickoff was Monday, right? Mm-hmm. So today would be day 6. And I've been showing up to her lives every day as she speaks about different goddesses. And intuitively, I was trying to I would be like, what jewelry should I wear today that'll match like what goddess she's going to talk about? And it pretty, or what color, and usually it would kind of work. And so I think I grabbed this, which is on my, sister cousin Barbara is on my father's side. This is from the grandmother on my mother's side, this necklace. And this relates because my grandmother, all of my family is directly from the continent, from Ghana. And all of my grandparents have passed on. And so this is the only thing I have of my grandmother. And so she went by, part of her name was Sika. So I would say Mama Sika Deroku, and Sika means money.
Oh, yes.
S-I-K-A.
Mama, money.
So I want to claim that, and that today we spoke about Ya Asantiwa. And if my cousin is here, I'm sure, I really hope, because I learned about her, maybe not directly in school, but that is one goddess and queen mother that I at least heard about, I believe, even before college. Because most of these goddesses, I want to say it, even here in the capital city of Accra, Ghana, if you're just walking around day to day, like if you're not in academia or in the arts world and you're just kind of living your regular life here, people don't know about these goddesses. Here on the mother, nope. Because colonization, patriarchy, and many other forces, but really overall these forces, these institutional forces, have pushed it out of the day to day. Now, again, I'm saying if I were to go to Legon, which is like that's like the big school, University of Ghana, Legon. If I went there, they would know about it. When I've been to some different art exhibits here, then I think the people that would attend certain things like that, they would know. So I'm not saying no one knows, but I'm saying the general average everyday person just shopping around and doing things, not really. Or if they do, like you said, it's been considered kind of almost taboo, or the narrative has been switched. But I want to say, so my family is Kwau. Kwau is part of the Akan culture, which is going to be listed a lot in Abiola Abrams' book, African Goddess Initiation, because many of the queen mothers and goddesses are from the Akan area. But Akan has many different cultures within. So one is Ashanti culture. We are Kwau, but Ashanti, Ya Asantiwa, she was a warrior and a fighter. So she actually literally led, very similar to Harriet Tubman actually, led troops against oppressors. So in Ya Asantiwa's case, she led troops. And I believe there were women in those troops as well, not even just herself. We'll find out in the book to be that led, that fought against British colonizers, basically. And if I'm not mistaken, I had heard that she was exiled, as a lot of powerful leaders, throughout history and even in current day have been exiled to just get rid of them and etc. But so she fought valiantly. How do I say that?
Valiantly. There you go.
Valiantly. Yes, she fought fiercely. Fierce as bad. She was a bad mama jamma. And apparently, for what I just learned today from Abiola's talk this morning, was that she actually, so there are these sacred stools Ghanaian culture, there's these stools that they're like circular, and then they have these almost like crescent moon shape to sit on, like a hammock shape. Let me see if I can do it with this side. So the seat would be like this. Yeah. Then there's a circle, and then the bottom of the seat would be like this. And so maybe you've seen this arching, circular arching shape. Those are sacred. Those are royal stools. And as she said, yeah. And so those, even I've seen them here. You do see them. You'll see them in the city, and you'll also see them in Kumasi. Kumasi is like kind of like the political capital. This would be more maybe like the I don't know if you want to say like business capital. I mean, it's the capital, but Kumasi is where the Osokohenes, which is the kings, and then the queen mothers, which interestingly, they are usually the mothers of the kings, not the wives. They're usually the mothers of the kings, the queen mothers, usually. And it may have been that way also for Ya Asantewaa, but what I do know is that she was an Asante woman who saw that the British wanted to sit on the stools. This is what Abiola said this morning, Goddess Abiola. And she was like, wait a minute, hold up. Like, why you letting them sit on our sacred stools? Like, no. And I think, who knows, maybe they were lured in by whatever kind of trading, whatever was going on. And she's like, no. And so she basically said, if y'all are not going to fight for our people, the women will do it. And so that was actually the quote. We, the women, will do it. We, the women, will do it. And she had us type it in the comments. If you're watching now, type it. We, the women, will do it. We, the women, will do it. Now, I want to be clear, though, that it's not to say that men don't also have work to do, and that we also don't want to work together as a community. However, I think that immediately empowers us and immediately takes us out of maybe any kind of victim mode that we may feel, which is not anything to be ashamed of, because we have been victims, and we have every right to acknowledge any victimhood that we've, any abuse, any times that we've been made to feel less than, because there's been many, and it's daily. So we can own that, but we don't have to live in it. We, the women, can do it. And so that's Ya Asantewaa. And then I wanted to say that this one I grabbed, I think, when I read the caption of who she was going to talk about, because this is a moonstone. And this is actually a necklace. That's why I just happen to be somebody, when I can see myself in the mirror right now, that I'm always adjusting. So I'm going to work on not adjusting as much. But who knows? Maybe I just need to touch this moonstone. Who knows? So this is, I feel this was my best way to represent the other goddess that we spoke of. So Ya Asantewaa was a real woman. She was a queen mother. Whereas Ngame is a goddess. And she may have been real. Who knows? That she's a representation of us in any case. A Ngame is the moon goddess. So I said, okay, well, I have moonstone. And so Ngame, so interestingly, I just learned about Ngame like a few weeks ago. And well, it's all connected, but I don't even believe it was from Abiola, from Goddess Abiola. It was like, I don't know, something else I was reading, and I had never heard of her. And the thing is, Inyame, I guess that's the intonation. Inyame is like only God, or it's God. So it's God, but then Ngame is goddess. And so I don't know if the two used to be together, where it was Inyame and Ngame, or if it was only Ngame. I don't know, but somehow the narrative changed. We, the women, will do it. Yes, Black Goddess 73. I don't know if I know that patriarchy affected the narrative, and that the goddesses were pushed out. So I have no problem with Inyame being there, the god, because we need the divine masculine. However, I take big issue with the fact that I didn't know about Ngame, which is spelled N. It's like endgame, Ngame. That's Ngame. So yeah, so we will learn more about her. I Googled about Ngame, Ngame, Goddess Ngame, she's goddess of moon and of flow. That's what I can talk about. Yes. And I could barely find anything, like at all. And I tried different ways to search her name, And but now we have a book that is being born into the world where we can learn, we the women can and will and do it. And Goddess Abiola Abrams is one of those women leading the path. And now we all are doing it. You know, we've been doing it and we're celebrating it. Let's put it that way. We've always been doing it. And now we're being acknowledged and seen and heard and celebrating that we do it.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it. I can't wait to learn more about her because I love the moon. And now that I know I can connect
Ngame.
with
I'm gonna put it.
Ngame. Oh,
Yeah, I'm gonna type it in
yes.
right now. But of course, you can go to. Let's put in. Let me do both of those things. I'm gonna put in AfricanGoddess.club. It's free to go and check out because she is Goddess Abiola is doing I think it's all the way through August 1st.
Yep, it is.
And
I'm so
you
excited.
are gonna be, pardon me?
I said I'm so excited. I think on the 19th is when my episode or segment will air, and we talk about Goddess Lone Bubby Susie and shame, and I share a little bit of my story and what I've been working on for healing single mothers, which is just a really amazing space. So I'm excited. So many beautiful things are unfolding.
Yeah. So go to AfricanGoddessClub.com. I just put it in the comments. It's free and it's for all of us. And it's this beautiful opportunity. She interviewed like, I don't know, like over 10 amazing goddesses, I believe. You know, and so I need to catch up. I want to do that this weekend. I got to see, I've been watching her lives. However, then separate to the lives, or well, how do you say, in conjunction, you know, connected with, I should say, bridging to the lives is the African Goddess Club content, which is part of the African Goddess Initiation Summer Festival. And so yeah, I guess I will, I don't know, I'll just also add that it was really cool that Goddess Abiola also, through the work that she has said in multiple ways, has been channeled through her. It wasn't like she was like, woke up and was like, what book should I do? I'm going to make a book about African goddesses. She said she actually wrote, I believe she said she wrote already 2 books before this that she thought should be her next book, because she does have 2 books already out. And then it was like, no, spirit told her, or, you know, her, however you want to say, her spirit guides her, you know, she was given the message strongly that this is what she needs to write. And she said it was just channeled through. So it's super powerful. And I just wanted to honor that she also included music. And I believe that also was channeled through to her, to include music, to include an official playlist with her songs. And I want to give a shout out to Goddess Neith Sankofa, whose music will also be in the book. Yeah, and so I'm gonna still put in Goddess Ngame, because I feel like, I'm telling you, I had a difficult time finding information about her, which will change on Tuesday, July 20th.
And I just want to acknowledge Black Goddess 73. We're so grateful that you are here and that this is resonating. It's so beautiful. So thank you, thank you, thank you. We see you and support you. And I'm so grateful that this is healing, which is why I love, like, when we can just come together and just talk. It's so powerful, important. And we don't have to do a whole lot, you know, just show up and share. And magic always happens because magic is normal.
Yes. Oh, is that, I see your little lady there. Your little goddess.
You want to say hi?
I can see you. Can I sing a little bit for you, Savvy? Goddess Savvy? Would that help you wake up? Okay, I'm gonna do a little a cappella of the song that is now been considered the official goddess anthem. Yes! The official
special concert.
Song, aka Goddess. I'm gonna say Goddess, like I say Shine Boss, but Goddess anthem. Throw a little New York in there. Yeah, yeah.
Uh-huh,
So,
uh-huh.
so I just want to give a little background on how this song was channeled through to me and how it relates to all of that we are discussing, because I didn't know it was going to come through. So essentially, I had started engaging deeply with Goddess Abiola Abrams programs in about September of 2016. And so I met you shortly after, and it was specific, by the way, Goddess Abiola, who connected us, she specifically said, I think you two should be accountability partners and should
Yeah.
work together. And that's her intuition. Um, that's just, she'll just come through at the right time. She'll just come through, it may not be daily. It's just like, I'll get like messages over the years. She'll just give specific messages, I guess, when she feels something. And I love that she's brave enough and bold enough to be like, yeah, let me just share that with her, or let me just say that. So I'll say that. And so so after, like, from September, October, November, somewhere in there, by December, I don't know, I'd been doing the, different unblock your energy, unblock your money, these different challenges that we had to really get engaged and re-engaged and reconnected with ourselves. And then I was living with my mother at the time in Stockton, California. And I just was walking, and then I just heard the song. I don't even have a very clear memory of what I heard first. I think I usually hear rhythm first, like something with the melody. So it's evolved over the years, but it was like doom, 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 doom. Dum, 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 dum. She walks into the room, kicks off her high-heeled shoes, and begins to dance. Dum, 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 dum. Everyone gathers round to watch this girl get down as she throws back her head, singing, yeah, 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 I'm a goddess. Yeah, yes, yeah, and I got this. Yeah, 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 I'm a goddess. Yes, and I got this. Yeah, 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 yeah. Ooh. Dun, 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 dun. Do, 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 do. Da da da, dum dum dum, da 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 dum, bum, da da. I'm just gonna channel something. Dun 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 dun. Oh. Oh, lately it seems to be an insecurity about the way I feel, where I wanna be. Well, you know it's with you. No one can do me like you do. It's true. Never to be mistaken, long as it's love we're making. There's gonna be some pain, gonna be some rain, but as long as I know, boy, time will show. Our love will grow, and I know love will be right here. Right here.
Yes.
No tears, hey, have no fear. With no tears. Love is a love's gonna be right here. Love will be right here. Spiritual love.
Yes.
Yeah. Spiritual love's gonna be right here. Oh, yeah.
Oh, thank you for blessing us with your divine voice and your
Yeah.
upcoming new single that you wrote and produced. And just Tell us about that process, because you are a international
Yes.
singer, songwriter, producer, all around magician.
Yes. Thank you. And by the way, shout out to SSWW, the B, because that is their song, Sisters with Voices. SWV from the 90s, Love Will Be Right Here, which sampled Michael Jackson. So my pop angel channeling through, coming through. Yes. So I just wanted to give a taste of I'm a Goddess, because I am very much about the behind the scenes process of birthing a song and of being compensated for that. So I went through, since royalty is in our DNA, it's very interesting that receiving compensation, in the long term for music is called royalties. So receiving royalties for music, for those who are learning or don't know about that, means that, so then when I actually do play the song on the radio or even in a live stream, because they've updated it for social media, or if it's at a concert, that I actually would receive compensation. I would receive money for that. And those royalties to me link directly to legacy. So that's legacy building to me. And it's also a way where you're not just there, it's really dispelling this whole myth of starving artist. I feel like that is a myth. I feel like I also have had to purge that, and am still working on any residual energy of the quote unquote starving artist. And of course, with family not understanding why I want to pursue music, things like that, it comes up. And so so I'll give a teaser. And I did share the full song with Goddess Abiola Abrams, because I made a conscious choice that sometimes, yes, you do give, because giving is receiving, and because this is bigger than us. Yeah. So, it's a balancing act. And so, I'm finding the ways where it's good to share without oversharing, or without, how do you say, like, draining my cup, or not filling my own well, so that process, though, as I was walking and hearing, the instrumentation, and it's just something that comes through. I can't quite explain how it comes through. It's just like, I'll just hear music. And so what I usually do now, when I was younger, I would hear music and let it just go through. And I might just I didn't feel empowered enough to know that music is meant to come through, that it's for me, and so I know a lot of music from a lot of genres, and so I would also be like, it's probably just a song that I already know or something. So now I'll just listen and be like, is that from something I know? And if it's not, then I voice record it. And so all I did was I voice recorded what I heard. And that first verse that I just shared with you, goddesses and gods, and everyone, just you beautiful royal people, that came through quickly. And then, like, it just came through. She walks into the room, kicks off her high-heeled shoes, and begins to dance. And just that. Like that alone, like, because it's like, yeah, you can, get all galled up. You can have your regalia, and it's nothing wrong with that. You can have your heels, your nails, you can have, your eyebrows did. You can have your lips perfectly lined and whatever makeup, or you could have none of that. And going back to what we said about how you said you'll put your cards down and get your sticks and your stones outside by the river. Yep. So she kicked off her shoes, and that's when she began to dance. And that's when she threw back her head and said, yeah, I'm a goddess. And that just came through. And so the next day was when I did construct the next verse. And it was still coming through, but it was more using writing skill. And that's okay as well. It all is part of it. And so then that was it. I just kind of did that. I had no idea how it would ever be recorded, or if I really didn't think it was going to be a song that was going to be coming up. When I did get the opportunity to record music, I didn't know it'd be the next single, because interestingly, my first single that is available now on all platforms, everywhere, Spotify to Boomplay to Audio Mac, to Tidal to iTunes, it's called No Mo. So no mo as in no more, but this is the black folks way to say it. This is no mo. We ain't doing this no mo. We ain't gonna do it no mo. So that was the call. What I didn't realize is that no mo, which came to me in a dream, woke me up from a dream 6 years ago. And then, so yeah, I'm a Goddess came to me 4.5 years ago. So still both quite some time ago, you know, and no mo, I knew that was the one I really wanted to bring forth, because that one was like fire. That was like channeling anger and depression and self-love, boundaries of like, no, nope, no. Yeah, I accepted this before, and I let you do this before, and that, you know, and whatever happened in the past, no mo. I'm not going to do this no mo. So that was the call. So when I say call, I mean in the African tradition of engaging, whether it's with voice, with your throat chakra, through words or through song and music, there's a call and a response. So it's like, hey, you know, even if it's like, you know, can I get an amen? Amen. Or, you know, can I get a witness? Or if it's like, when I say, what do they say at concerts? When I say ready, you say rock. Ready, rock. I'm just making it up. You know, ready to rock. Like, what would be something they say? Hey, ho. Right. Say, you know, hey, ho, hey. You know, all of that is call and response, because so you got somebody who's making the call and then the response. So I say that to say, no mo was like the call to action. Yes. And then the response was, I'm saying no mo. Why? Because I'm a goddess. And I didn't know that. The way that this song is becoming my next single, releasing in conjunction with the book. So it's all coming out July 20th, this Tuesday. All of us are going to be, you know, we're just going to be celebrating. We're continuing to celebrate. We're starting now. So Goddess Abiola, she messaged me like in one of these intuitive kind of ways that she does. She just messaged me like directly on Facebook and said, hey, I see you have an album out. And she also is such a good leader of manifestation, because it's a single. I had a single out, but it's possible that she just maybe, you know, you quickly look on Facebook and she just saw my pic, you know, she probably just saw. But I also get a sense that she was manifesting it for me, that, okay, this is a single, but you have an album out, because the album's gonna come. So I don't know, I receive it as that. So, but she was like, I hear, oh, you have an album out. Do you have a song you'd like to include? And then I said, you know, I have no mo, and it is an empowering song, but I said, I don't know if this is going to be the one that might work for your book, you know. And I said, well, I have a song that I don't know, I did a voice memo of, and I sent it to her, and she's like, oh my God, Goddess, yeah, do it. Like, you know, so again, like encouraging that manifestation, and she knew the book date back early this year. And so she just, so I had that timeline. I knew July 20th. And so getting the team together, you know, and it's interesting. It's a team of men. And I think it's actually beautiful in the sense that they were vibing with it, and it was igniting their divine feminine that is not very awakened, I'll say, here in the capital of Ghana, in Accra, the big city where, you know, it's very male dominated. And so it was cool to see them singing along. I was telling you this when we spoke about it. It was cool. And so even though, yeah, it'd be awesome to have had some, you know, more female energy, I like that the divine feminine was coming through, and that I also got to balance it with some divine masculine.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, that balance, that balance. And I'm sure that was healing, and that's just a testament to how music is healing. So that is so beautiful. I can't wait to hear the entire song once it comes out. I'm creating like a playlist for myself. So I used to like listen to a certain playlist that would make me empowered. So I'm definitely going to be adding, I have no more on there, and I'll be adding I Am a Goddess.
Oh, thank you.
Yes.
I'm going to tag Neef Sankofa, because I want folks to know about her album as well. Because and it's called Black Shaman, and I'm going to share the way she spells shaman. Yeah, because she puts an MXN, Black Shaman. album, I guess. Let me put, yeah, because I just want to shout out because she also is part of the playlist for the book.
Beautiful. Yeah. I love that I get to see my goddess sisters shining and doing their magic and being able to contribute to this beautiful energy. And something you said was that royalty is in my DNA.
Yeah.
That I felt woke something up within me. It was like a remembering.
That was from Goddess Abiola this morning, or from her live that she did. So yeah, but I feel like that is in. I have heard. Is it? I don't. Maybe was it Kendrick Lamar? I know he has something similar that he says about something in his DNA. Like he does. I will shout him out definitely for his music. Like he's letting it be like he's putting Black empowerment definitely strongly in his music. But but I heard it today from Goddess Abiola.
Yeah, that definitely like awakened something in me. So thank you. That
Ooh. So let me see whoever is with us still, please, or even in the replay. I hope we're saving this. Royalty. Oh, yes. Let's type that. Royalty is in our DNA. Can you speak to what that brought up for you?
Just like a remembering and a knowing that, it's I can't even articulate it. I can't put it into words, but it was just like a shift. I can't say right now what that means for me, but it was very profound. Like you are royal. And there's that song, Will Never Be. I can't think of who sings it. Who is that? That song Royal, was it Katy Perry? And I was going to sing it because it's like, we'll never be royal.
Her name is Lord.
Lord, that's right.
And I think we'll never be royals. She said we will never be royals, but it's
and I stopped singing because I liked the song, but I was like, I'm not singing that. Like, why would I say that?
But you know what? I get why she was saying it. Like, she was kind of saying like, I'm my own version of royalty. Like that's how I took it. Like we may not be Prince Harry or whatever, blah blah blah. But I'm my own power.
Yeah. I think, but still, I think it's good to know and to remember. And it almost felt like a switch went on, like activate that royalty within you. And sometimes we need to hear that. Like we need to hear and to know that, no, we did not come from slaves. We came from enslaved people who were once kings and queens and scientists and queens and warriors and architects
creators
and divinatory being. Like, no, we didn't. That's not the story. And that's one of the things that upsets me so much is like the way that we talk about slavery as if it was not fucked up, as if it was not traumatic, as if it was like they just picked up some people sitting, they were just a bump on a log until we captured. Like, no, like we disrupted ancient civilization and history and families and community. Like, you didn't just find some like people like just running wild. Like, no, like these were intelligent human beings that you tried to
not
take down.
2/5 or 3/5.
Right.
Full human beings.
Yeah. And then we royal. It's in our DNA, y'all. I hope y'all feel that.
As Black Goddess 73 said, period.
Period. Okay.
Period.
So I hope you felt that shift. Like something truly within me shifted. Like the way that it resonated internally was so like, yes.
And that speaks to why it's important when we show up, because Goddess Abiola showed up. She's been showing up for 6 days in a row, and she's going to continue showing up. I showed up for her live. That spoke to me. I showed up here with you, shared it with you. That showed, that awakened something in you, turned on a light switch for you. Then that's gonna. So it's
that ripple effect. Like Goddess Abiola always says, a rising tide lifts all boats. And now that's something I can teach to my children. Oh, yes. It's broken, Savvy. Oh, let's turn it off. Her laptop is broken.
Oh no, sorry. Well, you know what? Since royalty is in our DNA, it's not an issue. That's
It's
not an
not.
issue.
It's
Yeah,
handled. It's
it's
handled.
handled. That laptop was in there for a reason and a season,
Yes.
and
We're just gonna upgrade. And I just was saying, like, I'm ready to get a new MacBook, so I can get a new MacBook Pro. She can get this MacBook, and we just good. We're gonna swap it out. It's all good.
That's it. That's it. That's all. Period. You know, I love the way that we over the years remind each other of our divinity. Like, I feel like you and I have done that over the years for each other and for others, of course, as well. I do definitely feel that our conversations tend to do that in various ways, you know.
And it's a blessing to me because these type of, like, I don't even call these friendships, like, your family, like, you are like a soul member of my soul tribe. Like, these type of friendships that I'm experiencing now, like, I didn't have this. I did not have these type of experiences. Like, if we wasn't, you know, turning up, it won't know.
Yeah. Yep.
Nothing real productive going on.
Right. Right.
Yeah. So it's beautiful. And then, like, if like you held space for me yesterday, I was like, I'm freaking out over, you know, these changes that are happening. And you're like, okay, well, there's space for that, but also let's look at how we can, like, be empowered in it. And before it'd be like, damn girl, that's fucked up. What is you gonna do? Like, you should do something stupid that's gonna ruin your life. And I'm gonna just sit on the sidelines eating popcorn because this is drama and I love it.
Whoo, girl, I don't know what you gonna do. That's fine. And it'll be like, and I know he did this and that. Yeah. And like, it
wouldn't be me.
Yeah. Yep. No, and that's huge.
Yeah. That's huge. And it was to the point where, like, I had gotten to a space where I didn't have, it was just me for a very long time. Like, that me, myself, and I, that's all I got. That was it.
You better sing. Come on, okay? Come on through. Come on with it, Goddess.
You know, there was a lot of, like, because the friendship trauma, the mother wound, all of that stuff, that is very real. And when you have had, because when I say, like, when I talk about love and toxic relationships, like, I'm not just talking about romance and intimacy. Like, I'm talking about family, friends, work, co-working, yourself. Like, it's a broad variety, but we tend to, like, laser focus on just romantic partnerships. But toxic friendships are just as damaging as any other. And it
sometimes more.
Absolutely. And it took me time to, like, open up to friendship and learn to trust. But I'm so grateful because now I have true friendship and true, like, love and support from people who get me and see me. And it's not only like take. It's like, I give, you give, like, you learn something, you share, like, we're always, it's an exchange. And it's because, like, if I know something that's going to help you, I'm going to tell you. Because when I get to the top, I want you to be standing right next to me. When we hop on a private jet, I want to by myself. I want to, come on, private jet. We got to go get a Afua. We got to go scoop up Neith and Amar. Like, we got to go get our people. You know? Like, I don't want to be the only one to make it. I want to make sure that I'm able to uplift and support whoever I'm in contact with. If that resonates with them. And unfortunately, a lot of people are okay with where they are. They're not really trying to grow and develop personally or spiritually. And I don't have space for that in my life.
I hear you. I just hear you. And I'm grateful for this space that we've created over the years and that we are continuing to create. We just get started. And you know, it really is a blessing, a blessing. It's beautiful, and I love the ripple effect as you said, like, how it's just rippling out to all of it. Like, you know, we just had the goddesses come through, and hey, okay, Soulful Tarot 504 said we still live in this thing. Yeah. Wait, can you speak more on that? Tell us more if you're here still. Tell us more. We got some new people joining. Thank you for joining. Yeah, this is so I'm Afua, just I guess so we can reintroduce ourselves
I've been going.
right here at Just Afua. Yes, and this beautiful goddess right here, the spiritual love healer. Yes,
Wow.
Jovhannah Tisdale. Yeah, up her. Yeah.
I don't think I did introduce myself. I think we just started talking.
I know. Yes. Okay. So allow you to introduce yourself.
Yeah. So I'm Jovhannah, the spiritual love healer. I am a spiritual healer, skilled in a variety of things. I have a lot of different tools in my toolbox. I love working with Reiki energy. Um, I'm a Reiki Grandmaster certified in Asui, which is a traditional form of Reiki, as well as Karuna Ki, Money Reiki, and Aset Ka, which is a Kemetic or ancient Egyptian form of Reiki. I am also a tarot reader. I love working with tarot and oracle cards, a master spiritual life coach, and a lot of other things that I will not continue listing. But I love learning, and I'm always interested in learning new practices. Mine is the spiritual love healer. Afua is Just Afua.
And you know what? You can tap at the top where you see the spiritual love healer name. When you tap at the top, you can see who's in the room, and you can get the names and follow if you like as well.
Cool. But
well, you see that that's so funny. That's a whole nother conversation of like things we assume people know. Like I didn't know that was like people didn't know that. So I'm glad I said it. You know, but we do that a lot. Like we all do that where we're like, oh, well, you just do this. But just do this isn't always that for somebody else. So we always have to have compassion. I don't know, just thought of that.
Like we're always learning and teaching. And one of the things that I see, and it is like so much ego in especially like spiritual communities and spiritual spaces, and it's so bizarre to me. Like it's so bizarre. Like we're always learning. I will never know everything there is to know about every single thing, and I enjoy like learning new things. And I feel like the more like tools and knowledge that I have when it comes to energy healing, the better I can support someone, because everybody needs something different, and I just want to have a little variety to rock out with.
Rock it out. That's thank you for that. Yeah, we kind of just dove in just because it's like this is your IG home, so you're just coming in and you're like, oh yeah, everybody, but it's true because we have people from my side and people from your side that come, so not everybody knows each other. So, or you know what I'm saying, like people who come may not know you or I, or etc.
And I don't think I haven't been live on IG in a minute. So
really,
yeah, I would love to like continue like doing these discussions, especially on my different platforms and stuff, just to.
Yeah, you know, one of the, to me, the most healing things about everything that's happened since 2020 into 2021 is this. I've just seen people get on lives. A lot of IG, Facebook has live as well, but I personally think what happened is, okay, I think a handful of years ago, Facebook had lives and you could do them, and then suddenly they stopped. And then I was using them, and then I couldn't find information about what happened. How do you do it again? And now I think with quarantine, they put them back. And then I kind of lost a little faith in it because I'm like, you all just kind of left me out there, you know. So I'll make it a point to start doing them on Facebook again as well.
I love Instagram. Like Facebook is cool. I like Facebook for the groups, but like I don't know. I just love Instagram because
me too. Though.
It's so simple. It's so simple and raw and in the moment.
Yeah, I just realized that Soulful Tarot 504 meant we live in this thing. Yeah, like, still live. I thought she's like living in it. Well, we live and we live in. That's right. I just realized. I mean. Until the wheels fall off, until sometimes they count you down. I haven't experienced it yet on live, but if people they think are live too long, they'll count you down, and then you basically want to get off before the countdown finishes so you could save the video. So yeah. So another thing. So I'm now like I've become I didn't realize I've become quite adept with IG Live just from watching others do it. I don't even go live on here much either, but a lot of people like music producers that now have become like, you know, kind of popular DJs on here. I've watched a lot of different DJs. It's kind of started with D Nice. However, I then learned about so many other DJs, but not just and music folks, but also comedians. And you know, from the Versus, what is it, Versus TV?
You you told me about Affion Crockett, and I got a chance to tune in with him and Spice Adams and
which one, the Bobby Brown one?
No, this was oh gosh, which one was it? I think they were doing Dr. Umar and
yes.
Oh my gosh.
And Dr.
I was like
what's it, Devin, or so it's
Dr. Devin and Dr.
Yeah. But they're who's the doctor that
we're not even gonna say his name.
Yeah, we ain't gonna say. And you know what?
Know.
He now took away. It's now just Dr. Devin, because it used to be Devin with the other last name, and he took it off. Just took it off. But yeah, it's his Afion. He's, you know, I didn't even know about him really. He's been around, but I didn't know about him, I haven't. That's some of the best laughter I've had in this past year and a half. Yeah. With Spice and Afion. Actually, let me shout them out. I mean, it's funny. Thank you for joining, Jake Regards. I see you. I see you. We see you.
Like, I think, you know, one of the things I would say that we like had to do, and comedians are so important because with all the shit that goes on in the, like, we need to laugh. And
it's like literally a need. You're absolutely right.
Yeah, and we need music and dance and movement for our body. So I salute those who are like bringing that medicine to us in that way. And people might not realize it. They might just think, "Oh, I'm just relaxing after a long day," but you're actually healing yourself through laughter and movement.
Right.
It's important. Most people either stand on their feet all day or they're sitting at a desk all day, and we're not moving intentionally in ways that like help to release and relieve stress. I used to dance a lot. I don't do it as much, but lately I have started just dancing. Sometimes I'll put music on, or I'll just, you know, do some little interpretive just movements. But it's so important. It's so important to like just move, be in your body, and laugh as much as you can. You're right. We do. We laugh so we don't cry. You're absolutely right. And that's why we can take real life situations and come in and do parodies, and it's super funny.
Right.
Because a lot of the things that were being said were hurtful or damaging, but it's like, you know what? We got to laugh. We got to laugh.
Yep. Gotta laugh. Yeah, it's so therapeutic. It literally, I'm sure there's a bunch of studies out there about laughter that just show how like, I mean, well, even on a spiritual level, it raises your vibration.
There's actually laugh yoga, and I've done it before. It is a workout. Like, you think, oh, you're just laughing. Like, first of all, it's fun. It's playful, but you're gonna feel like muscles in your body, but you feel good and light. And I remember just listening to a laughter yoga session one night, and I just felt happy and good. Like, you're listening to people laugh, and you don't even know what they're doing. And
that's also almost like an ASMR kind of vibe. Like, you know, you were listening to others laugh. That's interesting. That just that laughter. Huh? I've never tried that. Like to just you know, hearing other laughter. Why not? You know, that's why they put laugh tracks in sitcoms, I guess. Well, they do that also to make sure they want you to laugh. But hey,
sometimes it don't be funny. It's like
sometimes it don't be funny. But you could look at it like, oh, well, they're encouraging you to laugh because it's healing. Like, you know, we could put that slant on it, but it's true. They do it more to get ratings. You know, they do it to, you know.
Ain't nobody really laughing.
Yeah. But you know what? That's the beautiful thing about stand-up. And that's why, so Afion, to shout him out again, like, he's back. He's like, we back outside. He's like back to touring. He was in Atlanta and I think in Philly, and he's been in different states now doing his stand-up. you know, I'm sure whatever safety protocols they have, you know, for each club or whatever, but, you know, he's up there again, and he's bringing Dr. Devon live.
Oh, that's
I don't know. I'm so curious about how that works, where he's like, what you not gonna do? What you not gonna do is overtalk me.
And then
So
he was still just sitting there like, just, it was hilarious. And I'm so grateful that I got to laugh at something because it was really funny. Peace, Goddess, Lotus Bomb
Hey,
Flower.
hello. Yes. Oh, you know what? Okay, so maybe let me introduce myself as well. If you are okay. I'm Afua. My full name is Nene Afua and Suma Danso. Coming to this side so you can see me a little better, because that's just what happens with the comments and all. Yeah, Nene Afua and Suma Danso, daughter of Ajoa Danso Derku, and the granddaughter of, it's interesting, I just know her as Mama, but Mama Sika Derku. And I'm here as a spiritual being having a human, very high, creative human experience, and creating, and particularly music and spoken word and anything that's with the voice is one of the big ways that I heal. Why, thank you, Ashe, Ashe, Ashe. And it's, you know, I think what I'm learning is that as much as music has healed me, I've actually been put here, you know, my mission, my purpose, and my passion is to heal myself so that I can heal others. And music is one of the big tools in my toolbox to do that. So I actually did this. I'm in the midst of. I'll shout her out too, Jen Pasteloff. So here was the abundance. Some of the abundance that, you know, that comes to us when we just stay open, which is a quote. She says, stay open, that's where the miracles lie, or that's where the miracles happen. Jen Pasteloff just invited me to her 4-week, she does a shame loss program, but this one is based on her book. So this is an interesting way that you can let a book keep teaching. Right. So her book is called On Being Human. Jen Pasteloff, On Being Human. And it was a New York Times bestseller. And I'll be honest, I haven't even read the book. However, I just followed her. I don't even remember why I followed her, maybe a year or two, maybe 3, I don't know. And I just watched one of her lives one day, and she's big on IG Live. She'll just get on, get friends on, whatever, you know, one person. And now that you can have up to 4, she'll just get people on. And I swear, I don't remember pushing to add, but whatever it was, she invited me on the live, and I was not decent. I had to quickly put something on. And I was very decent. I was in my birthday suit, most decent of all. And but you know, I just like threw something on, and then I joined her live, and she was on with her bestie, who is a African American sister from California, and so that I relate to her because I grew up in California, and we were all just kind of vibing and talking about other things, and then I just kind of towards the end, or not whatever, later in the conversation, just said, oh, I'm a, you know, yeah, I sing. And she's like, oh, what? Like, you sing? And so so Jen was like, she's like, by the way, let me just shout her out that she would be, I guess, by most people's view, white. I do believe I believe I've seen Jewish, or like Jewish as part of her heritage or culture. But she's an ally. She's like an ally. Like I've seen her bring on many people of color on her lives, and she uses her platform to really connect and to heal, which is what I love social media for, connection and healing. Yeah. So she just was like, can you sing something for us? And so I sang some of No Mo. And we caught it, you know, and I was able to share it and post it and kind of help like spread the word about my music and all that. And now I don't know what happened. I don't know. She just messaged me the other day and was like, hey, you know, I'm doing this virtual retreat on I think it was it was the next day. It was last week, Saturday, a week ago. She's like, hey, on Sunday, we're doing this retreat. I didn't ask any questions. I just was like, let me just say yes. I didn't ask if it was a one-day retreat. It's actually 4 Sundays, and I didn't even know. I thought it was like a one-time thing. So luckily, I'm staying open. So, but it's been really cool to connect virtually in these ways. And I just wanted to shout her out as I was introducing myself, because that is part of the magic, the normalcy of magic being normal. And that's a big thing. That's part of my experience and part of who I am. I am magic, and magic is me, and magic is normal. And so I wanted to say that. But speaking of rituals and retreats and workshops, would you care to speak about, I was curious about the work, was it a workshop? You did something yesterday, or there was like a something you did.
So I signed up for this devoted circle training with Sora, and I'll tag her in the comments. I'm not as like agile as Afua with typing and commenting at the same time, so I'm gonna stay focused because I'll get lost in
That's okay. That's okay.
And because one of the things that I used to host was spiritual love circles, where we would gather women together. And I want to start doing retreats. So I have some plans to do like some one-day retreats, and then longer retreats, and then like this intimate, like one-on-one retreat. So the work that I do, because I don't think I finished introducing myself, but whatever, I'm all over.
I know. I love the way that's part of that. This is really how, Goddess Jovhannah and I, this is how we talk. And this is very air sign. Very
it
air
is.
Sign. But we get it. We're like, oh yeah, and da-da-da. So please continue.
So I, like I said, I'm a spiritual healer and all that. But my work revolves around a couple of different things. One is I created a community for healing single mothers, where I can do like some coaching and energy work as a group. And then I have my business, Spiritual Love Sanctuary, where my purpose and passion is to really support women in healing and releasing trauma, because as I've shared, I've experienced a lot of it. And I want to do these like retreats and deepen the way that I'm able to hold space for others. So I signed up for this training, and well, it's not even a training, because she's not telling us like, this is how you do it, this is how you do it. She's leading us to an experience. But it's so beautiful to witness, and I'm noticing like different things within myself as far as how I can create an experience, whether it's for one individual, whether it's for a group of individuals. So it's been very beautiful. And in places where I would normally like, it's like, no, like take up space and be seen. And that's something I think that as trauma survivors, as women, as Black women, like we have to learn and get better at taking up space and allowing ourselves to like be heard and expressed and experienced in a way that is right and authentic for us. So yeah, it's exciting. There's a session later this evening, and then tomorrow, which is awesome. This year has been very fun, where I'm like learning different things that I've been interested in. I'm also taking this cosmic sexuality program, which is really amazing and beautiful. And it definitely aligns with like my spiritual love work and energy. That has been healing for me. And I think the things that I'm learning will be helpful, especially if supporting someone who's experienced sexual trauma, to be able to heal and reclaim that energy center and that space and feel safe and protected in their body.
So important, so important, so important, so important. Yeah, just huge. And so it sounds, well, no, I already knew you, but I'll acknowledge that I love the way or honor how you learn. You'll learn something, and you kind of have, it's like one of your superpowers, I feel like, to incorporate it into your life, incorporate it into what then your purpose, what you do, what what you're here to do, or at least it helps you navigate. And I don't know, I feel like you don't take education lightly. Like you're not just like, or you'll things that somebody else might just be like, well, the lady just said this, whatever. You're like, no, that's a teaching. Like you kind of know how to extract education from all sources.
Yeah. I like to learn.
I'll be learning. You be
But
learning.
it also can become a handicap because rather than doing, then I'm like, oh, I gotta learn. And it's like, girl, like
I'm not ready yet. I have to get this one other Yeah.
I probably have like 3 PhDs worth of like spiritual knowledge and healing in my head, not to mention all the ancestral and past life wisdom. Like, I think I'm good. So I am getting to a point where I'm like, I want to do my work. I want to express my knowledge through my work. And so this is like me getting there. Amen, ashe. And so it is.
And so it is.
Because we've been invalidated so much throughout our lives and taught, oh, well, no, you need a certification, you need a degree,
right?
Someone else's approval to tell you that it's okay for you to do what you were purposed and put here to do. And so I often have to like make sure, like, am I learning this because I want to, or am I learning this because I feel I need to in order to do what I've already been doing since I can remember. So like healing is not new to me. Like I have always been a healer. Like people would come to me and be like, something's wrong. And I'm like, oh, you just need to do this. How as a child do I know, like, okay.
That's interesting. Can you share an example of that, please?
Well, one thing is like, so if anything wakes me up out of my sleep, it has to like be urgent. I have slept through hurricanes, tornadoes, like thunderstorms. Like I just be sleep. Like nothing wakes me up. And I remember one night I was 7, 8, 10, I don't know, somewhere around there. And in my dream, I was hearing someone say, help me, he's gonna kill me.
Wow.
And I wake up and I look out my window and I thought I was dreaming. And there's this lady with, she had on like a long Floyd, like white nightgown. So of course I'm like, what the dreaming?
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, like this is real. So I went and I woke my parents up and I'm like, hey, somebody needs help. Like there's a lady running outside. And my mom was confused because she thought I was dreaming because I don't wake up for anything. But I heard her cry for help and was able to get up.
Wow.
I've also had dreams where, like, I remember this dream.
Wait, really quick. That was a real woman, a real woman outside.
This really happened. Yeah. Apparently her husband came home and she might have been, I don't know, but something happened that was unsafe. And she fled. Yeah.
Wow. So you woke up for that, but not tornado, not a hurricane, not a thunderstorm. Wow.
Nope. And I remember like when I had my first child, my mom was like afraid that I would sleep through the baby crying, but no, like I would pop up. So it's interesting. And then like always just wanting to help people, being able to like know and feel what people were thinking, which was also very scary as a child, but just understanding like the dynamics of what was happening, even like in the adult world. And and I think part of that, like when I was younger, my mom had this book, and I have to find, it's called Talk That Talk, and it's a collection of African fables and like proverbs, and it was such a beautiful book, and I would sit and I would read it to her. I also read a lot of like James Baldwin, like Lyndon Hill, Gloria Naylor, like I was reading books like well above like my understanding, but like it fed me. I liked reading books about like Black history and books by Black authors and African art. So I think all of these things, like just being wise, I guess, beyond my years, like seem to serve me well.
Wow.
So yeah, it was a good life. It wasn't great, but I feel that I had an advantage because I recognized energy and spirituality at an early on, and I carried it with me up until probably about 13 or 14, and that's when, you know, things kind of shifted and
like a rupture. There's a rupture.
it was like that disconnect. Like I would see like fairies in our backyard. There was like some woods, and there were fireflies, but there were also like pink, purple, blue, and green. And I would be like, "Hey, do y'all see the lights over there?" Nobody else could see them.
Wow.
So, and they would tell me like they were fairies, and I was like, "Oh, okay, I like fairies."
Yeah, like that's cool.
And I would just watch them like light up, and like the lights would kind of be messages.
And no one else could. So people could maybe see some fireflies, but they couldn't see all these colors you were saying.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I've recently heard about seeing fairies, and that there's like ways that you can kind of like, you can leave things out for fairies. I don't know if you've kind of like, do you still see them actually?
I saw one in my meditation this morning. I don't see them like physically as much, but I can sense like when I'm out in nature. And sometimes it'll just be like a dragonfly. Usually it's a blue dragonfly, because blue is my favorite color. And like it'll fly by like as I'm walking to the river or something, and then I know like they're saying hello. So I'm always like greeting the animals and the insects and things that I see, because I know it's all part of nature, and it's all part of magic. And interestingly enough, I was laying down the other night and saw an iguana on my finger. I don't own an iguana. And I looked up the meaning, and it was about hold on, let me see.
Like a real iguana.
Yeah, it was like an iguana, like just on my finger. Like I saw it, and I'm like
a tiny baby, like a. Oh, okay. But it's like.
Yeah.
Like, was it the spirit of the iguana or a iguana?
So my eyes were open. It's so weird to explain, but it was like I saw an iguana on my finger.
Yeah.
And I was like,
you could just see it.
Okay. So then I looked it up, and iguanas are native to Central America, which is, and other places, of course, but that, of course, hit my heart. And it spoke of like contentment and gratitude, but also of like letting go of things that don't serve you, and trusting or continuing to like trust or develop your intuition. So I was like, look at that. Like that was a beautiful like animal to just pop up in my energy. It's not something that I would see or like go looking for iguanas on, the internet. Right. So I thought that was beautiful. And I think like the way our intuition shows up can be very subtle, and it could seem like that shit's crazy. Like if I had like not paid attention or not been in tune, I wouldn't have looked to see what message iguana holds or what medicine it has. And sometimes we think we're supposed to like hear trumpets booming and big, vivid visions like a movie playing, and that's not always how it is. Sometimes it's a whisper. Sometimes it's a bunny that hops across the street in front of you, or the shape of a cloud, or a passage that you read in a book, or something someone says, like when you were like, royalty is in our DNA. Like I felt that. So I'm
so glad that resonated. Like we used to like, it's almost like, how do you explain it? Like, okay, so in 90s hip hop, there was a lot, and even in kind of like the late 90s, like Erykah Badu culture, like there has been like a narrative there, there's been a, I don't know if it was ever like the most mainstream, but 90s was when it was the most mainstream, I'd say, like of like, third eye consciousness, like God and Goddess consciousness, queendom, and like royal and that, and I don't know if it's almost like, oh, it's not in fashion now. I don't know how to explain, like, so sometimes we do kind of think like, oh, is it cliche to say it? I don't know. There's some reason that we hesitate to embrace it as fully as we could, I think.
I think in regards to, especially like music, right? Like Common, that type of music, that's not what people want to hear in the club. Like they want to hear Cardi B and the City Girls. Like they're not trying to hear that like We royal.
Why? What? Well, okay. In the 90s, I wasn't unfortunately old enough to be in the club, so I do think they played more. Like, okay, you know what they would play? Probably like
Biggie, Tupac, more hip hop.
What about Tribe Called Quest? I mean, they might have mixed it. You don't think they were really playing them at the club?
Okay, so it depends on what club you went to, what you're gonna hear.
True.
But most of the time, it's like that dirty South, like we about to tear something up, or we shaking booty.
Luke and the 69 boys. Let me see you touch the ground. Like, and the thing is, I know all those words.
Now, there were some lounges that might play, you know, like jazz or something,
I mean,
but there was no, like, you're not
like,
really turn on the radio and hear Erykah Badu or India Arie. You might hear some.
Yeah, that was like a certain vibe.
Yeah.
Well, no,
India
Arie would certainly not be like, but at the club. Yeah.
Not.
But what about the Roots? But even the Roots.
I can tell you that I probably did not hear any of those type of things in the establishments that I frequented.
Right, which is where the most people who go clubbing, that's where they frequent, is the big clubs. I know what you're talking about.
Hey, Chantel, thank you for popping in. Oh,
hey. Yeah, let us know, those who are with us, like, is there something, like, please feel free. I love engagement. Like, I love when people actually are, like, saying, like, oh, you know, I feel that, or if you have a question, why not? We're here in this space now. So, yeah. And you can also, you let me know how your time is, because you said you do have something this afternoon.
I got about a good 30 more minutes. You know, we could talk all day long.
I know, and we have.
But I just think, like, what's considered popular and in trend is never what's really good or what's really feeding and sustaining people. Not to say that there aren't, like, artists like Kendrick Lamar and books.
Right,
like,
which they might play him up in the club, you know, like, but maybe they would be selected with which songs. But even, like, what was it? Be Humble. Sit down. I think I've heard that in some sort of kind of clubby-ish type of space. You know, like I'm actually, now that I'm thinking more and more about it, the album that has loyalty, and I think he does say royalty is in our DNA. I'm pretty sure it's on the album with Humble, Loyalty, and all the one word. I think everything on the album is all caps and one word, and I think a period at the end. But yeah, you know, so there are exceptions. However, yes, the patriarchy, you know, the colonial mindsets, all of that is why it's more about big booty hoes. It's more about men. I'm noticing this a lot also with music videos as I'm in Ghana, because West African, like a Nigerian music is very popular and is starting to, has spread around the world. Beyonce also helped, of course, put a lot of West African music on the map, or musicians on the map. Shatta Wale, and some dancers as well, from the continent. And who's a Ghanaian artist that she worked with on the project? There are several. There's also a Malian woman, a woman from Mali. How do I say Amaru? Amaru is her first name, though, and I don't want to missay her last name. But I learned about her when I was studying African music years in 2014. But so I would give it to Beyonce that she really did curate. You know, she made her playlist, her kind of dream playlist for the project she did for Lion King and Black Parade, like this whole kind of era. She really brought some African artists to the forefront in a positive way. However, I'll just say, when I generally turn on the music channels that they have here in Ghana, it's still big booty hoes. It's still, not all, but it's still a lot of scantily clad women and a lot of fully clothed men with a lot of clothes on, women with a lot of clothes off. And for the women, we don't have to take our clothes off. Do you remember the song? To have a good time.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah.
We can dance and party all night. was it? And drink some cherry wine. He said cherry wine. Uh-huh. I can't remember his name, but that was a cool 80s vibe.
Okay.
But yes, in the club. In the club means something very specific when you say in the club. It ain't in the IRE they're talking about.
It means
in the club.
You know what you here for. You came to have a party. But I think too, just in general, like you have to search to find, music that's more like uplifting and less she's ready for her mommy time. So I might just hop on to Jermaine Stewart. Yeah.
No, but
okay, so what are some books for your spiritual journey? Definitely African Goddess Initiation by Abiola Abrams. That releases on Tuesday, July 20th. Opening to Spirit by I can't think of her name. I want to say I can't think of her name, but Opening to Spirit. I want to is it Caroline Shola? I don't want to say it wrong, but Opening to Spirit is a great book. Another one is 365 Days of Hoodoo. I like that book as well. It kind of helps you reconnect with nature. I also think it's helpful to kind of research your ancestry to kind of see like, okay, well, what did my people practice? Like, where did they live? And what were some of the ancient ancestral things? That's helpful as well. Goddess Mignon has some books about manifesting. Oh, The Ancestor's Path is another good one. I'll probably come back and like try to list some in the comments.
You can list under the video.
But there are
realized
so many.
Now that I did something. So it's like when I touch the screen on accident and like move it, then it froze the comments. Luckily, I've had this happen before with a live, so I can still see you just fine and hear you, but I couldn't see the comments. So that's just FYI. But I'm glad that we've been able to connect, and it's been a good connection. But yeah, please list those books. List those. And I want to think. This is something I cannot remember. I didn't mention it because I didn't remember the doctor's name or this doctor psychologist, but she is a woman of color, a Black woman, but I remember what the topic is on. And I want to say that my new therapist that is of Brazilian and African heritage, she just sent it to me. I didn't. So this is the power of therapists of color, of a therapist of your similar culture and heritage and background that sees you. She sent me this whole talk, and I'll forward it to you. It's about post-traumatic slave disorder.
Yes.
And this is exactly, I kept wanting to bring it up, but because I couldn't remember the doctor's name, I almost was like, but everything that much of what we've been talking about today is that. When you were you said it so beautifully, like so powerfully about the layers of trauma. And so maybe I'll put that in the comments. You could at least search it, and you'd probably find her name. And when I get it, I can put it.
Yeah, I've heard of that. And
it's something like with a 3-part name.
Is it Frances Cress Welsing?
Not this. That's not her, but maybe there must be other.
Yeah, there's other bodies of work that talk about the impact and the ancestral. But the thing is, there's been no, not even a fucking apology, but there's been no type of like restoration. Like we're still watching.
Reparations or even or of any kind.
Anything. We're still seeing people jailed for stupid shit, murdered in the streets by the police who are here to supposedly like protect us. Like there's so much that's still happening that is reminiscent of that very same trauma. So we never got out of it. Like we're still living. It just looks different.
So maybe as we come to a close, what can we offer as healing now? I know this conversation has been healing for us, and I think those who have commented and said that it's been healing for them and that it was needed, and that we'll definitely do more. What can we share to also bring for the next generation that's with us now? Beautiful Goddess Savvy. Like, what can we offer as we come to a close? Like,
Honestly, what I think, and I know like for myself and me as a mom and a parent, is knowing our roots, number one.
Okay.
Knowing our true history, because that's going to empower you to not operate within the misinformation or the lies or whatever. And then like financial empowerment.
Yep.
People like building community and all of this stuff, building businesses, taking like that requires money, and not
Yep.
just like a one lump sum. Like it requires ongoing finances,
Right.
getting to a place. And for me myself, like this is a personal goal because I am you know, a single mom, and I want to be financially secure. I want to financial freedom so that I can
Yep.
contribute to causes, to communities, to support
Yep.
initiatives that can and will affect change. um, Reclaiming, and this kind of goes within knowing our roots, but also reclaiming your indigenous ancestral practices are so important, because again, it gives you a sense of self, it gives you that sense of connection,
Yep.
and it gives you a sense of empowerment to know who you are. And again, like royalty is in my DNA, like knowing
Yes,
that,
child.
then you
Yes,
can
goddess.
go out into the world and you move different. So when you see things that are hateful, or you know, the trauma things, you don't absorb it, and you can start to learn to operate outside of it. Also, seeking therapy, connecting with community, I think is important, as well as, again, this kind of ties back into knowing our roots, like rebuilding our family structure, um, and doing your personal work, so that you realize, like, dang, like maybe I have experienced a whole lot of trauma. Like maybe I shouldn't be smacking bitches, or maybe I should be a better parent. Maybe I should help clean up my neighborhood or something. Like find a little piece of your world, whether it's just at home, but find a little corner of the world that you can do something good in, so that you're not feeling you're not able to do anything. Because what happens is the problem is so huge that it's like, we just not gonna touch it, whatever, we just gonna ride with it. But no, like find a little something you can do. Maybe you mentor a little kid down the street, maybe you donate $5 to, you know, something that means something to you, but find a way to better yourself and then contribute.
Yes, 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 yes. While Savvy's here, can we take a quick selfie? Savvy, would you be okay with that?
Yeah.
Okay, so can you do one too? Because I don't see everybody's comments in there.
Oh gosh. Okay, hold on.
If you can. Okay, if you can.
Together. Ready?
Savvy, yeah, ready? 1, 2, 3. Yay! Let's do another. Yay!
She was like, I'm not smiling.
Yeah.
Ooh,
you don't have to.
What Black Goddess 73 said, decolonize ourselves.
Yes, ma'am.
You know what?
Yes,
okay, pause, because we didn't touch on something that I think is very important, and this is what Black Goddess 73 says. Like, yeah, we do. There's so much self-hatred and colonization within our own community, like light skin, dark skin, like you know, that type of stuff. Like we gotta let that go and stop pitting ourselves against one another, and like be able to work against or work towards, you know, building and creating something that is a much better world for ourselves and for our future generations. So decolonizing ourselves, like that hit the nail on the head, because until we
Thank you. I don't have my shaker here. I'd be shaking with the
I know. One of the things that I really want to do,
I mean, it's in the other room, but I don't want to
get a drum. I said I really want to get a drum. So yeah.
Okay. Because you're calling. I do have one, so let's see if we can keep
it.
I just stopped going to the living room to do lives because I don't know what's, you know, the energy wasn't. But I'm gonna actually, let's see if I can. Can I flip the camera? All right.
Yeah.
So there's the drum. This was a gift, my birthday gift from Goddess Enchantress Shane.
Oh.
And this is actually a journal from 2018. So with a black cat. This is my shaker. So let's see what, if I tilt it a little bit, well, you can see hopefully what. Woo! Okay, well, we'll just keep it sideways because I'm trying to do it with the phone. A shake, 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 shake. Boom. Chicka, 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 chicka. Boom. Chicka, 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 chicka.
Yes.
Gotta shake it out.
Beautiful.
So I'm so grateful that, you know, our ancestors and our spirit guides and our, you know, our spiritual soulmates and our earth angels, shout out to our earth angels, you know, allowed us to have this beautiful meeting in space. And I love you very much. And I love Savvy too. And I love Kayla too.
We love you as well. And thank you so much, everyone, for joining, for just listening to our talk today. We hope to do this again very soon. As you can see, Savvy is ready for me to go. So I'm going to go ahead and head this out. Sending you lots of love, peace, bliss, and joy. Until next time, peace. And be sure to go to AfricanGoddessClub.com to sign up for the African Goddess Fest and check out Goddess Abiola Abrams book as well.